So, you have a very keen interest in ancient Egypt. Where do you start? My recommendation are books. Books are plentiful, they're out there. We've got the internet, which is great in modern age, but at the same time, you need something that's a bit more hardy, hands-on, and you can just try to picture yourself amongst the pictures, try to analyze the words, really get a hold of the author and some of the experts in their words, something tangible. It's always nice to grip hold of. For me, one of those initial books that I started with was Ancient Egypt by Lorna and Lucia Coughlin. That one there. It's a very thick, heavy book. It covers a range of different time periods, from pre-dynastic up to the Greco-Roman. It has brilliant images on temples, hieroglyphs that are absolutely beautiful and stunning. It's not just a picture book, but it's filled with information. I think this is one of the key base starting points. It's just getting a general read around ancient Egypt itself and the history of it. It even goes up to a bit more of a modern day look of Egypt and even some of the kind of Coptic churches that exist. I can't recommend that more. Where can you find it? You can find it online. Amazon's always a great treasure trove, but most of the books that I'm kind of been able to find and might show you throughout my series have actually been charity shop finds. I herald the charity shop. You never know what kind of wonderful little treasure book that it might be holding, so do visit. Another book that I recommend, other than the general read, is something a bit more specific for mummies, of course. Ancient Egypt is full of mummies, and a brilliant book that's inspiring time and time again. You can pick it up, read it over and over again, is Conversations with Mummies by Rosalie David and Rick Archbold. That book is fantastic. You'll know that you'll have to go visit Manchester Museum, and you know that you'll never look at the mummy Basru or any objects in the museum the same way ever again. Very inspiring. Now, if mummies and the general read of ancient Egypt kind of get you clued up and think hieroglyphs and you want to learn, this is a bit of a difficult kind of ancient language to grasp a little if you don't have some instruction, but this is the key quintessential book that's kind of bridged the gap between the older the older Egyptian grammar by Gardner, and this kind of brings it up to date, more in line with the progression of the ancient hieroglyphs and language itself. It's James P. Allen's Middle Egyptian, so this is an introduction to the language. It can be pretty hardcore, but it ties in some brilliant kind of myths and actual papyrus, and it's a brilliant kind of instruction manual. There are other books out there that exist. They're quite more simplex. They don't go into the whole details, but this is generally the key one that Egyptologists kind of get hold of. So do look out for that. You can quite often find it in Waterstones, and you can easily access it online. And the other one. You hear a lot of stories about the Book of the Dead. It's quite popular in cinema and trivia. You think ancient Egypt, the Book of the Dead, resurrecting the deceased and the mummies coming to life. Well, a book I can't recommend anymore, I can recommend loads, is Knowledge for the Afterlife. This is fantastic. So it's the Egyptian Amduat, A Quest for Immortality by Theodore Abt and Eric Hornung. Fantastic. It is a bit pricey, it's a bit more rare to find, but it goes into kind of social psychological elements of the beliefs of the ancient Egyptians through the Amduat. And the Amduat was the 12-hour journey by the sun god into the underworld, through the nighttime journey, and then of course the rebirth, and he comes forth in the new break of the day. Amazing. It really kind of delves into the possible mind state and what they could have been thinking and why these beliefs are forming, and the whole psychological element of this kind of mythological story, if you will. And if that's not enough, if you really want your hands on the actual Amduat, at least example of it, you have the Egyptian Amduat, the Book of the Hidden Chamber. So this in itself gives you the hieroglyphs from the breakdown within the tomb of Tuthmosis. It is absolutely fantastic, filled with everything you could really want, really. If you can't make it to the tombs, this certainly gives you a breakdown of the Egyptian Amduat. And once again, this is a bit rarer to find. It can be quite expensive, but you can definitely find it on the internet. And once again, charity shop finds, it is quite possible one's lingering in your shop close by. They do have a way of kind of connecting with other shops and keeping the word out for other books if they pop up. So it is quite possible in various budget ranges to possibly find these. So keep your eye out. And once again, any book on ancient Egypt, the more the merrier. You can always gain some sort of knowledge from them all, whether it's a children's book or whether it's a hardcore academic print. So just keep your mind open, have a look, and happy reading.